Yo-yo dieting leaves you worse off than you started. You lose weight and gain back more. The wrong kind of dieting can destroy your metabolism by causing you to lose muscle, which is key to a high metabolism. So today, we'll identify the pitfalls to avoid that are destroying your weight loss efforts, plus the business of nutrition. Does it really cost that much more to eat healthy? We'll be looking at that. And we have a special segment on beginner's exercises. My guest, Bruce Krahn, author of The Fat Fighter Diet. Bruce is also co-founder of Body Zone Personal Fitness Studios and president of eBody.com. Our lines are open for you to call in with any of your questions at any time, and don't be shy. Bruce, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
The first thing, the pitfalls, like I just mentioned in the introduction,
Yeah.
People are constantly on a diet. So let's hear about these pitfalls and why it is that so many people's weight loss efforts are failing them.
Well, it is a really great question, and I don't think there's any one single answer that can say this is why all those programs are failing. However, that being said, I would say there's certain commonalities that run amongst most of these programs and that lead to their failure. And one of the main things is that they focus too much on just restriction of calories, and they don't focus enough and take more of a holistic approach and look at the body from a whole. And in terms of hormones, in terms of muscle mass, in terms of nutrition, nutrients, not just calories. So I like to address this whole picture from the top down, and then starting with the mindset, because it's the psychological part that's the hardest part for most people.
But what you said there about the calories,
Yeah.
very important. Now, your book talks about the importance of at least taking an inventory on your calorie count for the day, just to have a gauge of what your patterns are. However, people think that the least calories they consume, even if it means skipping meals, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
You warn against this.
Definitely. Because severe caloric restriction always leads to something called sarcopenia, which is muscle loss. And as soon as you have less lean body mass, you have a decrease in your metabolism. As soon as you got a decrease in your metabolism, you're setting yourself up for long-term fat gain, not for long-term fat loss.
Is that why you have so many people complaining and saying, look, I'm exercising, I'm staying off so many calories, and still I can't seem to lose the weight? Is this the reason why?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I do hear that quite a bit, is that people will be engaging in an exercise program. Maybe it's okay or adequate, I'd call it, and yet they're still not budging, and they're restricting their calories. Quite often, what they're doing is they're restricting it too much. They're not giving their body enough nutrients. Okay, not just enough calories, but enough nutrients to elicit fat loss. The body's really smart.
Okay, there's something else I want to promote here. Now, we already showed you the Fat Fighter Diet, and we're going to be showing it some more. But there's a little magazine that I just want to hold up for the camera here for you to have a look at there. And what caught me the most here was Fit at 40. Now, I know that there are many of you watching, maybe even most of you, that will say, look, when you start getting older, you're going to gain weight, and there's absolutely nothing to do about that. Bruce, what do you have to say about it?
Hey, I'm 40, and that's why I'm on there. So it's absolutely not true. It's about your lifestyle. You can become and remain fit well into your 40s or 50s or 60s and beyond if you do the right things. And one of the main things is your exercise program. I mean, it's the resistance training that's going to help to give you the lean body mass increase. And that's one of the biggest markers of an aging body, is a decrease in lean body mass.
So you could end up having a person they're registering a low amount on the scale, but when you look at their build, it's as if they're a small, obese person.
Exactly. A skinny fat person is what we call them.
Yes.
Yours sounds better.
I'm trying to be politically correct here. I'm really trying to be kind, okay? Now, we actually have some before and after pictures, and the reason I'm showing those now is because there's one girl on it particular. Okay, that one is a clear-cut case of a lot of weight loss.
Yes.
And these are all people that have followed your plan there, Bruce. And we'll be showing those again later on. There's another clear-cut case. You can see a huge difference from
you lost a human
the right and the left. And that one, now, if we can just hold on to that one for a while there, because when I look at that picture on the left, I'm seeing a person that does not have a weight problem. However, when you look at the right side, you can see a huge difference in body composition and in build.
Yes, definitely. In that instance there, I mean, you take a person who the average person will look at that lady and say, hey, she's in good shape. Right? She wasn't happy with where she was. She wanted to go to the next level. And actually, the journey to go from good to great, like she did, is more difficult than the journey to go from, dare I say, not so good to good. Okay, so you really, that takes a little bit more, or a lot more, scientific principles in terms of nutrient timing, how you're partitioning your nutrients, not just in terms of overall calories. So it's a different conversation to have. For most of the folks that we're talking to today, it's mastering the basic rules that will give them their journey from where they are to someplace that's much better, a good place to be.
Now, there are generally 4 areas of motion that you talk about, that you
Yes.
advocate.
Yeah, the 4 primary movement patterns. This is what everybody's body was meant to do. So everyone's body is designed to do
And
these
they do
4
it from
things.
toddlerhood.
That's right. Okay, so we all get a proper exercise program works all these 4 movement patterns, and they are squatting, pushing and pulling on a horizontal and vertical plane, rotating, okay, our bodies rotate, and lunging. So we want to work through, in a properly designed exercise program, you'd work through all those modalities. What the goal is when I work with people is to get them to master those movement patterns. That's step 1, is learn how to properly squat, learn how to properly lunge, those 2 in particular. Because if you can squat and you can lunge, your knees will be healthy, your back will be healthy, you'll have a strong core. And then you can build from the foundations. You have to look at everything from a foundational standpoint. Don't just start off on an exercise program that, let's say, I would do for a beginner would be a little bit too advanced. You need to do something that's a little bit more getting you the foundation down pat. Then you build.
Basic question, can